A woman in her power doesn't chase, she chooses. My friends, we've been lied to. Somewhere along the way, the world convinced women that if he pulls away, you should pull out all the stops, make him jealous, post that perfect selfie, text a little less, pretend you're busy. Show him what he's missing. You're told that'll make him want more. But let me ask you, if you have to become someone else just to keep him interested, is he really interested in you? Before we dive deep, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because today, we're not chasing anyone. We're chasing clarity, confidence, and real connection. Hey ladies, imagine this. You're at a vending machine. You put your money in, press the button, and wait. Nothing happens. So you press again. Still nothing. Now you're tapping, smacking it, kicking it like a kung fu master, hoping it'll give you something back. Sound familiar? That's what chasing a man feels like. You keep showing up, pressing every emotional button, thinking this time he'll respond. And maybe once in a while, something drops, a compliment, a quick text, some half-effort attention, and you feel like you're finally getting through. But the truth is, the machine's broken. And girl, you've been paying in your piece. Let me hit you with a truth bomb. Chasing a man doesn't make him want more. It makes you forget who you are. And the moment you forget that, you start living in desperation, not dignity. You were not made to perform for love. You were made to be loved just as you are. Think about this. When you chase something, what does it usually do? It runs. That's nature, that's instinct. So when you're constantly chasing his attention, you're training him to see you as optional, easy, replaceable. And trust me, that is not who you are. You're the sunrise. You're the moment that makes people stop and stare. But if you keep running after someone who won't even pause to appreciate your light, you're not shining, you're shrinking. Let's break this mindset once and for all. You don't need to prove anything to be wanted. You don't need tricks, tests, or games to be chosen. You just need to know your worth so deeply that if someone doesn't see it, you do, and that's enough to walk away with your head held high. It's time to flip the script, to stop being the woman who's always reaching, and start being the woman who receives because she radiates value, confidence, and peace. Because here's the real deal. When you stop chasing, you create space. And that space, that's where the right person steps in. Not because you begged, posted, or pretended, but because you stood still in your truth. And that truth pulled the right energy toward you. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next will change the way you love, the way you show up, and the way you see yourself forever. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep going. The glow up starts now. Number 1, stop running after someone who's walking away. Every step you take towards someone who's not reaching back is a step away from yourself. My friends, let's call it what it is: exhausting. Chasing someone who won't even meet you halfway feels like trying to hug a shadow. No matter how far you reach, there's nothing solid to hold on to, just air, silence, doubt. Now picture this. You're sprinting on a treadmill, sweat dripping, heart pounding, giving it your all. But here's the thing. You're not moving forward. No matter how fast you run, the view stays the same. That's what it's like running after a man who's walking away. You give everything, your time, your energy, your heart, and still, you're stuck. And then the questions creep in. Maybe I just need to show him how much I care. What if he's going through something? Should I just wait it out a little longer? Let me be real with you. If he wanted to stay, he'd be standing still beside you, not fading into the background while you keep yelling, "Look at me." See, love doesn't work like a vending machine. Put enough effort in, and something magically pops out. That's not love. That's a performance. That's emotional debt. And the longer you keep running towards someone who isn't reaching back, the further you drift from your peace, your joy, your worth. But here's the truth that changes everything. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. Sometimes God, life, the universe, whatever you believe in, lets people leave not because you're not enough, but because they were never meant to go where you're growing. Let them walk. Because when you stop running after the wrong one, you free your hands to receive the right one. So take a breath, stand still, reclaim your ground. Because up next, we're diving into what truly makes a woman magnetic. And it's not games, it's not chasing, it's something deeper. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. This shift is just getting started. Number 2, be the calm, not the storm. A peaceful woman is a magnetic woman. My friends, let's clear up one of the biggest lies women have been sold. Men love the chase. Keep him on his toes. Be unpredictable. Create a little chaos. He'll stay hooked. No, he won't. You're not a puzzle to be solved or a storm to be survived. You're a woman. And real men don't crave chaos. They crave peace. Let me break it down with this image. Imagine you're at sea. The waves are wild. The skies are dark. And all you want is to find your way home. Out there in the distance is a lighthouse. Still, steady, glowing. It doesn't flash fireworks, it doesn't scream, it doesn't chase boats around the ocean. It stays put, and because of that calm presence, every lost ship knows where to go. That's what you are when you lead with peace. You become a lighthouse. Not loud, not dramatic, not desperate to be seen, but still so powerful that no one forgets where you are. But society tells you to be the storm. Keep him guessing, they say. But guess what? The right man isn't interested in guessing games. He's not looking for a roller coaster. He's looking for someone he can build life with, not survive battles with. Now, that doesn't mean be passive or stay quiet when things matter. It means stop letting your emotions be used as tools to manipulate. Don't start fires just to see if he'll come running with water. That's not passion. That's panic in disguise. Peace is power. Grace is confidence. A woman who knows how to stay centered in a world that wants her reactive, that woman is unforgettable. So stop trying to stir up storms to keep attention. Be still. Be grounded. Be the kind of woman who doesn't need to chase, because her presence already commands respect. And up next, I'm going to show you how to tap into the kind of clarity and confidence that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. The real glow is just getting started. Number 3, high value isn't loud, it's clear. You don't need to scream your worth. You just need to stop explaining it to the wrong people. My friends, let's get one thing straight. Being high value isn't about how loud you are. It's about how clear you are. Clear in your standards, clear in your energy, clear in your self-worth. You don't prove value, you own it. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a diamond sitting in the window of a jewelry store. It doesn't shout, doesn't flash a neon sign, doesn't chase customers down the street begging to be chosen. It sits, it shines, and only the people who understand what it's worth even step inside the door. That's you. You don't need to become louder, prettier, thinner, funnier, more mysterious, or anything else just to keep a man interested. That's not value, that's performance. Real value speaks without sound. But here's what happens. When someone doesn't recognize your worth, you start explaining. You justify. You compromise. You lower your standards just to be understood. And before you know it, you're giving TED Talks to people who never even cared in the first place. Let me tell you something. People who are meant for you don't need a manual. They just get it. They see your peace. They feel your energy. And they step up, not because you begged, but because they know what they're standing in front of. High value isn't loud. It's in your nose, your boundaries, your willingness to walk away. It's in the way you protect your heart like it's sacred, because it is. So stop chasing, stop convincing, stop watering yourself down for people who are too thirsty to appreciate real substance. You are the diamond. Stop knocking. Just sit. Just shine. Because up next, we're diving into what real effort looks like and how to stop decoding mixed signals from men who should have spoken clearly from the start. Let his effort show his interest. Stop decoding mixed signals. Real ones don't need translation. My friends, let's end the confusion today. If you're constantly wondering what he meant, how he feels, why he disappeared, or when he'll finally act right, he's already told you everything you need to know. Maybe not with his words, but with his actions. And actions, they never lie. We get stuck clinging to potential, the maybe one day, the he used to be so sweet, the he's just figuring things out. But while you're holding on to who he could be, you're ignoring who he's already showing you he is. Think of it like this. If you have to keep knocking, it's not your door. Real love doesn't leave you standing in the hallway. Real interest doesn't play hide and seek with your sanity. You shouldn't need a decoder ring just to figure out where you stand. When a man is genuinely interested, he makes it clear. He doesn't disappear for days, then come back with excuses. He doesn't breadcrumb you with weird texts at 11 p.m. He shows up consistently because he wants to. Not because you reminded him, not because you chased him, but because he values what he sees in you. Let me ask you, are you chasing clarity or are you chasing someone who refuses to give it to you? Because here's the truth, you don't have to force what's real. Love that's mutual doesn't make you feel anxious. You won't have to beg for time, attention, or respect. It's given, freely, eagerly. So stop analyzing what he says, start observing what he does. And when the actions don't align, don't explain them away, believe them. The next part, we're going to break free from the fantasy and focus on you. Because becoming the kind of woman he's afraid to lose starts with not being afraid to lose him. 5, focus on becoming, not convincing. Become the woman he's afraid to lose by not being afraid to lose him. My friends, it's time to stop pouring your energy into trying to convince someone to see your value. Your job is not to be more likable, more available, more perfect. Your job is to become stronger, become clearer, become so rooted in who you are that anyone unsure about you feels the loss before you even leave. Let's get real. Convincing someone to want you is spiritual self-abandonment. It's handing over your crown and asking, is this enough now? That's not love. That's desperation, dressed up in devotion. Picture this. You're standing outside a banquet hall, peeking through the windows, waiting for someone to open the door and invite you in. But inside, the food is cold, the music is off, and no one even notices you. Meanwhile, you've got everything it takes to build your own table, your own feast, your own vibe. So why beg for a seat in a room that doesn't deserve you? You don't beg when you're building. You don't convince when you know. And let me tell you, the woman who knows herself is a force. She doesn't try to fit in, she stands out. She's not afraid of losing a man because she knows she's not losing anything that's meant for her. And that kind of energy, that's what makes a man step back and think, how did I almost lose her? It's not about playing hard to get, it's about being hard to replace. So focus on your glow up, on your healing, on your goals, on becoming the woman who is so whole, so grounded, so powerful that any man who isn't all in fades out. And next we're going to talk about one of your most underrated superpowers, silence. Because sometimes the loudest message you can send is none at all. 6, the power of silence and space. Sometimes your silence speaks louder than your pleading ever could. My friends, let's talk about a power that most people underestimate. Silence. Not the silent treatment, not manipulation. I'm talking about the kind of silence that says, I've said enough. Now I'll let my absence speak. Because here's the truth, not responding is still a response, and sometimes it's the one that echoes the loudest. Picture this, you're listening to a beautiful song. It builds, rises, flows, then suddenly, silence. No final note, no fade out. You sit there, waiting, thinking about what you just heard. That pause grabs your attention more than any sound ever could. Why? Because space makes people feel. It creates contrast. It forces them to listen, to notice. That's the same energy you carry when you stop chasing, stop explaining, stop begging for someone to care. You pull back, not to punish, but to protect your peace. You pause the performance, and suddenly they start hearing what they've been ignoring. See, when you're constantly talking, explaining, reaching out, making excuses for their behavior, you give them no space to recognize your value. You keep filling the silence that should make them miss you. So ask yourself, are you afraid of being quiet? Or are you afraid of what the silence might reveal? Because the right one, they'll feel it. They'll notice the difference between your presence and your absence. And the wrong one, they'll fade into the background where they belonged all along. Silence isn't weakness, it's a boundary, a signal, a declaration that your peace matters more than their confusion. Let go. Let space do its job. Let your silence show them what your words couldn't. And coming up next, I'm going to give you one phrase, one powerful line that holds more strength than all the chasing in the world. Number 7, the one phrase that creates pull, not pressure. You don't have to stay, but I refuse to shrink, so you'll choose me. My friends, this is the moment everything shifts. One sentence, just one, can stop the chase, flip the script, and return your power back to where it belongs, with you. Let's be honest. So many women shrink in love. You make yourself smaller so he can feel big. You silence your needs so he won't walk away. You change your personality, your rhythm, your softness, just to fit what he might want. But here's the truth. Anything you have to shrink for will eventually suffocate you. Say this with me. You don't have to stay, but I won't shrink to make you stay. It's not anger. It's not manipulation. It's clarity. It's you setting down the heavy backpack you've been carrying, filled with overthinking, overgiving, overcompensating, and suddenly realizing just how free you can feel without it. When you say those words, you're not trying to pull him closer. You're inviting him to either rise up or walk away. And whatever he chooses, you win. Because a man who hears that and walks was never for you. But the one who hears it and finally sees you for who you are, that's the one who stays for all the right reasons. Let this phrase live in your spirit. Say it from peace, not pain. Say it with your head high and your heart whole. Because the woman who can speak like that, she's done performing. She's done begging. And she is unforgettable. My friends, remember this. You don't need to chase love, prove your worth, or shrink to be chosen. The right one will recognize your value without games, without pressure, and without you losing yourself. You are powerful, you are whole, and you are enough exactly as you are. Let go of what pulls you down and rise into the version of you that knows her peace is priceless. If this message hit home, hit that like button, subscribe for more truth and empowerment, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. You're not chasing, you're choosing, and that changes everything.